When it comes to fishing early season, there really isn't anything that beats buzzers. It's such an abundant food source. And in this video, I'm going to look at my 6 specific buzzers that I tend to fish all the time early season. And also a quick look at how I fish them. I'm going to keep this very simple because buzzer fishing, although technical, when you break it down, it's a very easy way of fishing. It's relaxed, a little slow figure 8 as the flies drop down through the water column. It's all very, very easy. This is me fishing Draco water with a team of flies, fish down to 14 feet deep. Although I mentioned earlier about the buzzers, there is 6 that I tend to favour. I've got 2 for the point position, 2 that I fish in the middle dropper, and a couple in the top dropper. And we'll look at every one in detail. My first fly, without a shadow of doubt, is my first pick for the point position, and that's Curly's buzzer, created by Dave Docherty. A really simple fly, black thread, silver wire, brown thorax, and a little bit of black varnish over the back. Really simple, unbelievably effective, but one of the problems with a point fly, you can often miss fish. However, it wasn't long after that before I hook into something. Again, I'm on the point fly here. You can see my bung just at the top of the rod. So this is really, really deep. And I'm just in front of the harbour at Draco here. The depths here are sort of 14 to 16 feet. And I'm looking to present my flies with this team of 3. I'm looking to present my point fly literally just above the lake bed. The water I'm looking for, silty, muddy bottoms. Not stones with buzzers, silt and mud, because that's where the pupa like to be. Hence I'm fishing in this area. And one of the problems with hooking fish on the point fly is actually getting the thing anywhere near the net. You can see I'm at full stretch here trying to net this thing. And you really shouldn't be doing this. However, I have got a life jacket on, and I'll extend my net. I've still got hold of the fish. I'm extending my net to its full extension here, which is what I should have done in the first place. So there's a top tip for you. And it's on my other point fly. I'll show you in a second. But this one, it's just thread underbody, pheasant tail over the back, and ribbed up with thread. A little bit of glow bright cheeks, and a little bit of antron as the breathers. I catch so many fish on this fly. It was given to me by a guy that used to contribute to Trout Fisherman magazine, Russell someone, I forget his second name, but he gave me this fly. And I fish it on the point. That fly, or Curly's buzzer, I tend to fish on the point all the time. They're both tied in big grub hooks, and that's why. You can see here I'm at full stretch to get this fish. Finally got him. And it's a nice fish as well. Really nice fish. And as it says, on Curly's buzzer. No Curly's, sorry. That previous one, just the thread from Russell. I do catch a lot of fish on that. And finally, when you're buzzer fishing, they're usually hooked right there. Look at that, right in the top lip. Quite incredible, really. You'd think, given how deep that fly is fishing, it'd be hooked in the scissors or something, but always hooked right in that top lip, and it's a really good hook hold as well. I find it's a good hook hold anyway. So when I'm fishing my buzzers, I fish very, very slow, with a little flick every now and again on my wrist. Just to give a little bit of movement. Now we talked about middle droppers, point flies we've been through. This is one of my favourites in the middle. Again, a fly that I'm fishing deep. And it's just black thread, a little bit of mylar. You'll see it in my videos. It's a Satsuma buzzer. Satsuma pupa. Orange holographic cheeks. And again, when I'm fishing deep like that, I find that these flies are a little bit of bling. So not the point flies, I just want a silhouette. But my middle droppers, I have a little bit of colour in them. A little bit of flash and a little bit of bling. Just something to create an interest. There's enough sunlight at that depth. However, I think right down in the bottom, the silhouette flies better. But I think when you're that sort of middle of the water column, where your sunlight penetrates, I like to have flies that have got a little bit of glint on them. They just seem to make a difference to me. I'll quickly show you my bung setup, so I can move it and adjust it.
I'll just show you my setup. See what I'm fishing. I've got this is a 6-weight rod, 9'9" 6-weight rod, and I've got a Rio Gold, not a Rio Gold, Rio Perception floater on. And this is my setup, so I'm fishing so I can fish the sliding bung. So I've got 2 rod stoppers there, and then a little tippet ring. 4 feet off of that, I've got my first buzzer, catching bugger all in it because it's too high up. I am catching on these 2. So this is a Vicar buzzer, gold one, a little bit of brightness when it's deep down. Tangle it while I'm here, so that's that buzzer there, Vicar. And then finally, I've got this beauty. This is what I'm getting most of my fish on. So most of my fish are coming to this, 14 feet deep. A fly that I've had for a long time. It's just made up of thread, different colours of thread, but it looks exactly like a buzzer. I'll hold that like that, you can see it. Looks exactly like a buzzer. A big grub hook. That's it, cast it out, let it get down, and then watch that bunk sail under. It's awesome.
I talked about the fly that I hadn't caught on, but I do catch a lot in it as the fish move up in the water column. And again, black shreds, silver rib, and this is some high-vis vinyl cheeks. That's it, really simple. I love this fly in the top dropper. My other top dropper, and often middle dropper fly, is a Vicar. Most Vicars are silver. I like gold holographic. For some reason, it just really works for me. Again, I think it's got something to do with that sunlight. But it certainly takes its fair share of fish. It took this one. Say when you do find fish, and it can take some time early on in the season, but when you do find fish, you need to stay on top of them. And what I do is I alter my cast to suit. Like I say, I'm always trying to get my point fly so it's just hovering above the lake bed. Just makes a big difference. But this fish was taken on a middle buzzer. And it's a fly that I've fished for, God knows, 20 years now. And it's black flexifloss, a little bit of mylar over the thorax cover, and chartreuse biots. It's a really simple fly, tied on a black hook. I just think it suits the pattern, but I do really well with this fly, and it's one that I fished for such a long time now. I just couldn't be without it. Again, this is another perfect example of fishing really deep. Make sure your landing net's fully extended, otherwise you've got to struggle. Every time that fish moves, you bend the rod. If you can, don't let the line come through your hands. Bend the rod when the fish lunges, and you just keep a better hook haul rather than letting go of the line. I just find it's a lot better. You do have to know when to let go though. There is only so much pressure your line will take. My tippet for this was an 8.5 pound Fluoroflex, which I prefer for this type of fishing. I much prefer Fluoroflex for fishing most things actually, but when I'm nymphing or buzzer fishing, Fluoroflex is the line for me. You can see just how far stretched I am in order to get that fish. Quite incredible, really. Lovely fish as well. Most of them are when you're fishing in this manner. You tend to pick up the really good fish, ones with the silver plumes in the tail, rather than the stockies.
Get a bit of sliding bung on. 3 flies, big grub hook on the point, which we'll look at in a minute. It's took a while to find the fish, but now that we've found them, it's consistent. These are the fish that we're getting. We've got to be very gentle with this thing, because it's a big fish. Just got to rest them in the boat. This is a proper winter rainbow. The tail and that. That's the stamp of fish you can get with buzzers. Get them back in the water. You ready for this, Lindsay? saying motherfucker. Well done.
So that's my flies. Top, middle and bottom dropper. The big grub hooks, perfect for fishing on the point. You'll notice the flies are very basic. We then move up, sort of middle droppers and top dropper. These can be exchanged for each other. But I like a little bit of bling, a little bit of flash, like that Satsuma Pupa and the Vicar. But also my little fly with my other head. One with orange cheeks, great top droppers. I tend to fish it there most of the time. But these flies are guaranteed to get in amongst the fish early season. Really simple, nothing fancy, but by God do the work. It worked for me anyway. Just get the depth right, fishing buzzers, just be patient and you'll nail it. And you could be catching winter fish like this. Take your time, get everything right, and you'll have a field day. I really hope you enjoyed that, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.